Hello, Knight Nation. Trace Trylko, Robert Aronoff of Knights 24/7 with Latavius Murray. We're here from Provo, Utah. Knights lose to BYU, number 11 BYU, 41-21. And really, Robert, it was the Knights season in a microcosm. They fought hard till the end, as they did really across the season, but they just could not get out of the way of their own mistakes.
Yeah, the day went different than the weather today. We started out with a cold morning, and over the course of the game, things heated up. But the Knights went the other direction. They started out hot, first two possessions, 2 touchdowns, and ended the first quarter up 14-0, and then they went cold.
Yeah, in the Monday media availability, head coach Scott Frost said, we're going to shoot our shot, right? You're at BYU. They're trying to get into that college football playoff. They've already clinched a berth in the Big 12 championship. So you saw a little razzle-dazzle. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And those mistakes, though, were just too much for UCF to overcome.
Yeah, you're going to have to play perfect when you play a team like BYU with the skill and talent that they have. And quite honestly, the Knights just didn't do it.
Perhaps most interesting was what Scott Frost alluded to in postgame, Robert, when he said some guys that did not make this trip, maybe they're just not all in. And in a season of transformation, and 5-7 in Scott Frost's first season back with the Knights, a turnover of the roster, whatever that number is, between 60 and 70 players. We've heard 70 a lot lately. And not everybody's going to buy in. Not everybody's the right fit. And maybe they had a lot of the right guys, a Dylan Wade, an A.G. Adai, that can be building blocks for the future.
Well, and that leads to the next question is, who is the future? Who's going to be able to return?
Yeah. Let's hear from head coach Scott Frost and players in the aftermath of this loss at BYU.
I'm really proud of this group. It's been an interesting year with a lot of new players and some things that have happened in the program that were unfortunate, some other things that happened that were inevitable. But told the Cedars I love them, would do anything for them. I hope they're the springboard and building blocks of a program that's going to only get better and hopefully do some good things down the road. And we got some young guys that are going to be good pieces that know what we expect, that we can build around. And I thought the fight today was good against a really good team. My hat's off to them. They're a class act. Coach Sitake's one of the good guys in the business. You know, he's been here for a while and built it the way he wants it to look. And you know, for sure early on we gave them a run for their money, and I was proud of how the players responded this week.
Yeah, we were just playing our ball of football. We were playing fast. Our game plan was to put our speed guys on defenders that couldn't guard them well, and it was working for a minute. But great job by the defense coordinator for BYU of seeing that, and he did a good job of switching his calls and playing different schemes. So, but it was a hard-fought game.
Contrary to what people might think right now, I'm kind of happy. We played really good today, and I'm so excited to see where the young guys are going to go, like AG. I can't wait to see them grow, and we got a good base up under us. Now we have to build up on it. We talked about all year that at the end of the year we wanted to play our best football, and I feel like today, even though it didn't end like we wanted it to, we played our best football, offense and defense, special teams, like collectively together. Now, obviously, some things, mistakes were made. It's just football, but collectively, just playing off each other, playing a complete game. I feel like we did that today.
Yeah, you know, we're a Florida team. We're supposed to have speed that other people can't match, and we have some of those. We don't have enough yet. You look at the guys you just mentioned, AG and Dylan and Waden, among others. If you go back to the start of the season, none of those guys have played very much football. And that's where we can really improve, is just having more guys that have a lot of snaps, that have experience. And we were so young and inexperienced this year. It's been 2 steps forward and 1 step back with a lot of them all year, but it's good to see some of them start to develop and settle into their roles and make some plays.
I feel like the future looks bright. You know, this is the start of something very special, and to be able to do it with my brothers and kind of go forward with it, I'm excited for the future and what it holds with this team.
Yeah, it's probably something I shouldn't say, but I'm honest. Losing some guys. We had a smaller group here today, and a way higher percentage of the guys that made this trip are here for the right reasons, are battling for each other, and I think there was fewer distractions, and I think that played a part in it. It's tougher than ever. Talked to Coach Sitake about it in his first year coming into the Big 12. He told me they were 5-7, and he made a lot of changes on the team that probably should have made more. And you know, I feel the same way. It's hard to say that we should have made more when we have 70 new players on the team, but you got to get everybody thinking the same way. And really, when you have we call them culture keepers, when you have guys that understand what you want, are living up to the standards, and then hold everybody else accountable to the standards. You know, those guys in the locker room help get new guys to understand what's expected. We didn't have any of that this year because everybody was new. We're going to be closer to that next year.
Yeah, as in being a guy here with 1 year, having 1 year up under my belt, just all the new guys that come in, let them know the standard early, let them know how our coach will roll and what we're looking forward to doing next year.
So UCF finishes 5-7. BYU continues to play on, but I'll tell you what, early on, first quarter, it was all Knights, offensively and defensively. Did they catch this BYU team in a little bit of a lull, perhaps?
Well, you know, Coach Sitake said after the game that he was dismissing any notion that this team, that BYU was anyway complacent at all because they'd already known that we're going to the championship game. He said about 3 times during that press conference that Scott Frost and the Knights, with changes to scheme and coverage, put his team in an uncomfortable situation that they quite honestly were not ready to handle. But they did say that being able to face creativity like this will actually help them get better as they face Texas Tech in the championship game.
Well, and that's something Scott Frost talked about in the postgame. You know, when you have a team down and it was 14-0 early, you gotta keep them down, and you could see BYU building back up here, and they're good for a reason. And the Knights have struggled on the road throughout the season. They go winless in this campaign on the road. It's mistakes, and BYU led to creating some of those mistakes.
Sure, they did. And you know, BYU is a great team, and BYU will face Texas Tech in that championship game. And I think the fact that UCF probably had their best road game of the year in terms of their own performance and how they executed, I think goes a long way towards, quite honestly, helping BYU prepare for Texas Tech, but also helping the Knights prepare for the next season.
Let's get reaction now from BYU.
If that was the complacency, I don't think it was complacency. We made mistakes, but Scott put us in some difficult positions, and you can't just think you're going to score every possession on offense. And I mean, we missed the field goal, which is like not Will, you know. But I'm glad that we made a field goal or made a couple field goals for him, and so I feel good about the 50-yarder that he made. And so there's a lot that goes into it, and you'll never see Will complain about anything else but his kick. But there's a snap in the hole that goes into it too. So all those things we'll try to fix. But yeah, I don't know if I can say that it was complacency or if it was what UCF did. Maybe a combination of both. And I know that we were sloppy at the beginning, and that's my job as coach, make sure that we don't show like that.
So Knights lose this one 41-21. They finished 5-7 on the season, and Scott Frost returned to UCF. 0-4 on the road. We were at those road games.
We were.
Now, this may have been the most competitive of the bunch. Perhaps they built to this. And so now where do things go from here, Robert? This was a team with 60-plus new players. Many of those are graduating seniors. Early signing day comes this coming week, and the transfer portal opens not long after that. There's going to be more turnover as Scott Frost tries to make over the culture and the product on the field.
There will be more turnover, and in many ways that's good, because Scott Frost will be able to bring in the players that he wants, good fit for his system, good fit for his culture. And as many people are saying, this is year 0 for Scott Frost. Now begins year 1. Now, with Frost bringing in his recruits and coaching this team up, we can see what we've got for the future when next year comes.
Well, throughout the season, Knights 24/7 with Latavius Murray has sponsored our post-game segments from home and on the road, and it's just getting started, right? We're going to put a bow on this season, and we've got an entire off-season to talk about players that will long be gone from UCF as we talk about them. But early signing day, and you're going to be all over that with Knights 24/7.
Yeah, it's often said in Florida there are 2 seasons. There's football season and the off season for football. And now that we're rolling around to the end of our football season, we got to start thinking about the future, which is thinking about recruits. The big recruit that everybody was looking at last week was the quarterback, 4-star quarterback, Rocco Marriott, highest rated player ever to commit to UCF. And it seems to have all the tools. And if you want the latest on what's going on in recruiting, check out Knights 24/7. We've got some great writers putting out all kinds of articles, analysis. And then remember, basketball season is already here.
Yeah, but don't forget the transfer portal, and that's going to be a lot of work as well to keep track of. And then before we know it, it will be spring camp. And our journey for this football season started at Big 12 Media Days and will conclude for you at the Big 12 Championship game in Texas.
That's correct. Knights 24/7 will be at the Big 12 Championship game. We're hoping to get a chance to talk with Lee Hunter at that game and see how the Big 12 season finishes out. And maybe at some point in the future, the Knights will be in the Big 12 Championship game.
Well, it's not the season that Knights fans wanted. It is the return of Scott Frost, the Gus Malzahn era behind. It was a one-game improvement. It was a tall task today, but I think throughout the season, the Knights proved that they could make Knight Nation proud of their effort, at least. Now let's see how it translates, see what Scott Frost can build on culture and build through the portal and build through recruiting and making this a better Knights team in 2026. And we'll have it covered week in and week out. We're thankful for Knights 24/7 with Latavius Murray for sponsoring the Sons of UCF postgame. It's been great traveling with you throughout this season.
It's always a pleasure to travel
Looking
with
forward
you,
to
Trace.
some new destinations next season. For Robert Aronoff, 2 letters, 2 words for Knights 24/7 with Latavius Murray. I'm Trace Trylko. This has been the Sons of UCF postgame report from Provo, Utah.